I live in a world where I can't get something that I want unless it's in some like plastic container. So I eat something and then I have this plastic container and I throw it away. But when I started being able to be like, okay, maybe I can make art out of this, it was like, well, I'm eating something out of the container, then I'm using the container for something else. So it was sort of like my own little peace of mind about conservation, about environmentalism, about, you know, maybe I can't change the world, but I can change my own little world with it. So, so the garbage kind of became this thing, and then I think it really actually fits well with my regionalist Iowa kind of thing, because a lot of my work is based off research about the regionalist movement, which happened all over the country, but it was particularly strong in Iowa. But anyway, a lot of the regionalists were very into conservation and environmentalism and about like caring for the earth and caring for your place and your space. So I use the garbage to sort of build things, and a lot of times it's like I build like artificial nature things. So I'll build like trees, or I did one in here that was it was like almost a river with a big, you know, the river was like this giant trash floaty thing, and like the whole bank was old tires and things like that. So sort of imagining this post-natural world where I'm missing the trees. So I'm using this old material that I have to build trees and build nature and things like that, but it's, you know, obviously not the same. So yeah, I try to, as much as possible, use, you know, recycled, reused materials that, you know, aren't considered valuable, which I find also interesting because a lot of art is very material based, and artists spend a lot of money trying to make art, you know, which I think makes it really hard to be an artist. You know, like if you don't have hundreds of dollars to spend on canvas and oil paint and things like that, I think a lot of people think, well, I can't make art, but the material, you know, can be anything, and I think that's another part of it. And obviously, the garbage as a material carries a message. You know, you're using garbage. It's very strong, you know, statement in itself. Learning when to take advice and when to not take advice. So learning when a teacher or professor says, you know, I think you should do it that way. I don't, you know, or no, I don't like this idea. No, I don't think that. And learning to be like, okay, maybe they're right, and I need to like think about this more, or saying, you know what, I am just gonna do it my way. Because I think, you know, everybody has opinions, everybody has, you know, their way of doing things in art, but that can get really confusing and hard for artists to sort of find their own identity in. If you listen to everything somebody says, what's your art going to be? It's going to be what they said. So I think the hardest part is like learning when to take advice and when to leave it and say, no, I'm going to do it my way, or, you know, okay, I should think about this, because, I would say my biggest influences at this point for artists are the regionalists, which I brought up before. So Grant Wood, and there's several writers. I feel like I get a lot of inspiration from writing and music. So there was several writers like Aldo Leopold, there was the author Herbert Quick, and Ruth Suckow. There are all these people who wrote in Iowa in the early 1900s. So I pull from those old texts a lot, because they wrote a lot about the prairie and things like that. And as for like current artists, I feel most inspired by my community of artists that surround me. Like we're all very close and we share ideas, and you know, we work through things together and we collaborate, and to me that's the most inspiring, because you're there, you're together, you're, you know, actually sharing ideas, and you know, there's some like cross-pollination, and we start to sort of do things that are similar but not, like we have our own unique visions, but so for me it's really about you know, real people and being there. Like I kind of got thrown into farming when I came back, because as I said, my father had a stroke and he couldn't do the things that he used to do. So we had all this organic farmland that he'd been managing, and the people didn't want to do it anymore. And they were going to turn it back into conventional farmland, which I just couldn't stand to see happen. So I said, well, I'll farm it then. So for 2 years I farmed 80 acres of organic corn and soybeans by myself. Now my husband does most of it, but I still, you know, drive the tractor sometime and do the combine. But I think to be a part of that and be in Iowa is really important to me, because it's such a big part of Iowa culture, and to like have those experiences and know what it's like and know how hard it is. Like, you know, people think that farming, you know, you just drive a tractor, it's like some easy job, but it's like incredibly hard. So I think that sort of spirit and that like hard work and it is kind of like a core or like key part of like the Iowa mentality, which I'm really trying to, you know, dig deep into. Like, and a lot of those, as I was saying, a lot of that work and those old writings were, you know, all about farm culture and all about, you know, you work really hard for spring, summer, fall, and then you have this like downtime in the winter where people would, you know, work on crafts and write and do these things. So the farm and art culture was very intertwined, even from the beginning. So if I, you know, were to give advice to an artist, I would say, you know, take your ideas and your concepts from the places deep inside of you that move you, that you care about, that you think about, and add that to your experiences and your space and your place that is unique to you. If you put those two together, you're going to have work that is as unique as it can be, and it's going to be powerful. And you can't let yourself conform to what people want, or it just becomes, it just loses that power, and I think that's what's really important.